Creating a category. In this tutorial, we will cover how to create categories in Blackboard. Do you use a weight system to calculate students' final grades? If so, regardless of the type of section you teach, online, hybrid, or on ground, this tutorial will provide step-by-step instructions on how to set up categories. Categories are used in Blackboard's Grade Center as a way of organizing graded items. In most cases, when factored into a student's final grade, some items may weigh more than others. For example, assignments may only be 10% of a student's overall grade, while quizzes may weigh 30%. Categories provide instructors with the ability to chunk graded items together so that final grades are calculated and weighed appropriately as grades are entered. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create category titles. When performing the instructor functions, ensure edit mode is on. To get started, locate your full Grade Center. You should now have opened up your Grade Center to see the following. From the main Grade Center screen, take note of the following menu. Create column, create calculated column, manage, and reports. This is a navigation tool invisible to students that allow instructors to personalize their gradebook and, upon completing its setup, control what is or is not visible to students. The menu item needed for this tutorial is Manage. If you hover or click the Manage item from the menu, a drop-down menu will appear. In order to edit, view, add, and/or delete categories, you must select Categories from the drop-down menu. Click Categories to proceed. You are now in the Categories workspace. Let's get familiar with this screen before proceeding to creating our first category. On this screen, you will notice the following headers: Title, Description, Columns. What are titles? The Grade Center has 9 default category titles: Assignment, Blog, Discussion, Journal, Safe Assignment, Self and Peer, Survey, and Test. You cannot delete or edit these. If you do not wish to use the default category titles, you can simply create your own. What are descriptions? Next to the category title is description. As you set up your categories, you have the option to insert category descriptions. Usually category names are self-explanatory, but as you begin to create your categories, if you do choose to insert a description, that text will appear here. What are columns? The columns section will display all graded assignments according to their assigned category. If a graded item is not assigned to a category, it will not appear here. I suggest checking here before you set up your weighted total to be sure items are in the correct category. Please note, not all graded items need to be assigned a category. If you only have one final exam, it can be a standalone item in your Grade Center. I recommend the use of categories when you have multiple of the same assignments, such as weekly discussions, quizzes, etc., that will have certain percentage when weighing the student's final grade. Also, the titles in which you choose for your categories are at your discretion. Many instructors use titles just as they are listed in their syllabus. Let's create a category. To get started, select Create Category from the menu. Enter the name, title of your choice, and the description of your category. Remember, you do not have to insert a description here. As an example, I will create a category named Weekly Reflections. I will leave the description blank. Once you have entered this information, click Submit. You will now be directed back to the category's main screen. You should see your new category title here. By the default, new titles added within the categories list will appear at the bottom of the list. Repeat Part 3 instructions to create the rest of your category titles. Once all of your categories have been added, click OK to return back to your full grade center. Category items that have a square selection box in front of them are the only items that can be deleted and/or edited. The only editing feature you will have is renaming the title.